Hello people, I'm Jaby Koay, joined by Andrea Rosario.
Hi.
We're going to look at the trailer for The Final Year. This is a documentary about Obama's final year in office. So let's check it out.
The first day I walked in, the first thing I noticed was how small it was. There's like 30 people who work here who are setting the direction for the entire U.S. government and in that way the entire world.
I feel like we should have a clock with the days counting down because what we have set in motion, all of that is at stake.
Syria, Libya, North Korea, climate change. And we have about as full of an agenda as any administration has ever had.
Each of us brings something to the table, informed by our history, by our experience, by our background.
I'm always feeling a sense of urgency to try to get as much done as possible.
You're sitting here and you're realizing the stakes.
All right, let's do this.
What's happening in Syria is beyond frustrating.
Whoa.
It was a dark, devastating day.
I will never stop trying to stop the war if there's a chance of finding a way forward.
People need to be the center of our foreign policy thinking. What Russia has done is wrong. Is there nothing that can shame you?
You know, she sustains that original idealism around our ability to save lives and make things better. I sit close to the president. He has to think about how am I going to measure this against every other priority I have in the world.
We've got to make sure it'll be harder to dismantle in the event that we take a different turn.
And I just came outside to try to process all this. It's a lot to process.
History really doesn't follow a straight line. It zigs and zags. The trend lines ultimately will be in the direction of a less violent, more empathetic, more generous world. That requires individuals fighting for that future. I still believe the most important office in any country is not president or prime minister. The most important title is citizen. Now, we got a pacifier that fell and could pose a danger to the president. There you go.
Oh boy.
Nice levity thrown in there at the end. I would be very surprised if this doesn't do very well in terms of just like box office receipts. People are so fascinated with an inside look at the White House. That's why West Wing did so well. That's why anything about government stuff usually tends to do well.
Designated Survivor, like all those shows.
Exactly.
Even,
And here you have a real life look at the final year of Obama's presidency. I definitely want to watch it, even if it is a very specific perspective,
Right.
like, even if it's a little biased. I still want to watch it because it's an inside look at what was going on that we don't
Right, it was
get to
like
see.
firsthand, and it was obviously very well put together.
Yeah.
You know, it's really intimate, and I think that that's always interesting for
Yeah.
an outsider to like watch.
Yeah, for sure. That moment when it said Donald Trump won, it's not like I wasn't present for that moment. Like I was watching it on TV and whatever, but like even seeing it in the trailer, like I could feel their emotions in that moment because I felt the same way, to be perfectly honest. I was very disappointed.
It was interesting, like how, you know, even like the whole mood at that point totally shifted. You know what I mean?
You feel a sense of defeat because it's like you get the sense of they're working towards these goals. And it feels like that moment on the television screen when it said Donald Trump wins, it feels like everything they worked for, it just crumbles. Like a House of Cards. No pun intended. Real life House of Cards.
I would watch that movie for sure.
House of Cards was the reference I was thinking of because that's all about the
Right.
White House and politics and Washington and whatnot. And that show did insanely well. Obviously, it's a lot of fiction, but
Yeah.
it did really well. Irrespective of your political stance, whether or not you voted for Obama or agreed with Obama, this is, you know, a worthwhile watch, a worthwhile look. You guys, thanks so much for hanging out with us. Please check out Andrea Rosario on the social media. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Check out our other reactions, reviews, and short films. I'm Jaby Koay. This is
Andrea Rosario.
Peace out.